I just want to acknowledge the work that you're doing with Iran right now is just phenomenal. If you're comfortable, I would love to hear more about that. Like, what are you doing there now? How are you trying to advocate and support the women there that are struggling through such horrors?
Yeah, thank you so much, Anthony. It means a lot that someone addresses Iran issues, because unfortunately we don't see much support from international community, and this is a sad reality actually. Iran has been isolated for more than 43 years old because of the economic sanctions, and now even in Geneva I see no support. Unfortunately, none of the organizations are no one is helping, no one. Anyways, since I moved to Switzerland, I always had this idea of having an impact on legal community, because I studied a new major of law, and the whole intellectual property world, as I mentioned, led me through WIPO projects to mentorship for women producers or producers in local communities. Before pandemic, I was registering students for international courses. After pandemic, it got some sort of business, to have these services, education services for the local community in Iran. But it was a time that Liga Mart, one of my former colleagues in Liga Mart, she contacted me and she said, Sanaz, if you want and if you have time, we can launch this program for Iran. And I said, no, this is not a good timing. Pandemic is getting over. I want to, have a better, work situation. I want to get better projects. I want to do this, that. It's not the best timing. I myself need a mentor. I cannot be a mentor more than what I'm doing at the moment. And it was 1 month after that we had finished the last round of International Trade Center mentorship program for women. She helped, Liga Mart helped. We had few live sessions on Instagram. We provided information and people got interested because they knew me beforehand, from the activities that I was doing. And I do a lot of workshop and training for Iran and developing countries. So we started this, and in the first round of registration, we had 30 people registered. So from 30, I think 25, 26 were women. So since last January, we launched this program, and now it's almost 1 year. And yeah, as I mentioned, more than 80 have registered. Most of them have been really successful, because some of them, they don't really follow up, and they're just, they disconnect in the middle of the way. But as I mentioned, this is a learning process. So as the major part of the mentees are women now, I am trying to give them a different perspective, more an international overview, what a woman can do. For example, because of this isolation, if you talk to Iranian lawyers or fresh graduates or law students, they are really certificate oriented or degree oriented. They don't work enough on their interpersonal skills. For example, like me, I go to EU Equals to meet you, or I go to conferences, to events, to workshops, to meet new people, to network, to build connections. But this is something that Iranian community, especially the legal community, is lacking. So I'm trying to help them to believe in themselves, because sometimes they're even they have PhD degree in law or they're fluent in English, but they cannot express themselves in an efficient way. So what I'm trying to do, especially for women, is helping them to improve their confidence, interpersonal skills, presentation skills, and be more and more connected to international community, because I'm working in an international environment. It's, of course, if someone, ask me, okay, I want to be a successful lawyer in Iran, I would help. So, okay, try to be innovative, try to be creative, and I show the ways how you can bring new solutions or new ideas into legal community in Iran. But unfortunately, because of Iran situation, most of the women that have mentorship session now with me, they want to leave the country and they want to work for United Nations system or international community. And because Iranian nationality is underrepresented in UN system, especially women, I have this passion to help and inspire them. And as I mentioned, because this is a mutual interaction, sometimes some of them, they really follow up on what we discuss and they have achieved a good result. Like this morning, one of my mentees contacted me that she want to do a panel in Iran with the museum of peace, and she invited me to be one of the speakers. So as you see, this is a mutual relationship. I inspire they also go find opportunities. They come back to me and we can continue the work that we are doing. And another thing that I do, except like helping them to get into UN system or international organizations, because we are working also with OVID, Organization of Women in International Trade, I try to engage them with different chapters of OVID as much as possible, so that as volunteers, they can have this possibility to work in international community on women economic empowerment. A few weeks ago, we had a WTO public forum, and I invited some of my mentees to come to see, what is this international environment and international trade, or so many other occasions. So I'm trying to always find new opportunities or occasions for the mentees to be involved. But for Iran, it's a bit difficult now, because now they have to fight for their basic rights. They cannot really focus on getting into United Nations system. When I just started again the mentorship sessions for Iranians, because it was on hold for a few weeks, because they need help. And they say, when we leave home, we don't even know if we can come back safe. My cousin lost one of his eyes last week in the demonstration in Tehran. So, it's a very challenging situation. So I just try to motivate them. I think mentorship is the key. And even for Iran, I'm quite optimistic that we will win. We will see the freedom in my country. And when we are free again, I have this idea, this passion of doing whatever I have been doing all these years in Geneva or remotely with Iran. I can do it in Iran one day soon. Mentorship is the key, I think, leading even a small community that you're working with. I think mentorship is a way to empower the less represented communities.